One of the most enduring mysteries of modern crime history, the Zodiac Killer, has been a puzzle that has baffled investigators for over half a century. This elusive figure, shrouded in mystery and cryptic messages, has evaded identification for decades. However, a recent development might just change that. Journalist Thomas Colbert, along with his team known as the Case Breakers, have surfaced with a bold claim. They believe they've identified the Zodiac Killer as Gary Francis Post, an Air Force veteran who passed away in 2018. The evidence they present is compelling, including a partial DNA sample and insider information from a bureau whistleblower. If their findings hold water, they could potentially crack one of the most enigmatic cases of the 20th century. But it's not just about identifying the Zodiac, it's also about justice for his victims and closure for their families. The claim, if true, could finally put to rest one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. The Zodiac Killer, a name that sends chills down the spine, is believed to be responsible for at least 5 murders in Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. This infamous, faceless entity was not just known for his heinous crimes but also for his taunting letters filled with cryptic messages to the police. The Zodiac seemed to revel in the fear and confusion he sowed, turning his brutal acts into a terrifying game. The Zodiac's known victims were mostly young couples, inexplicably targeted and brutally murdered. The first confirmed incident occurred in December 1968, when a young couple was gunned down in their car in a remote lover's lane. This was followed by a series of chilling murders, each more brutal than the last, creating an atmosphere of dread that hung over Northern California like a dark cloud. But the Zodiac's reign of terror didn't stop at the crime scenes. He seemed to take a perverse pleasure in taunting the police and the public. He sent numerous letters to local newspapers bragging about his crimes, threatening more violence, and including complex ciphers that he claimed would reveal his identity. Despite the efforts of many professional and amateur codebreakers, many of these ciphers remain unsolved, adding another layer of mystery to the Zodiac's already enigmatic persona. Recently, a group called the Case Breakers has suggested a connection between the Zodiac and the murder of student Sherry Jo Bates in 1966. This theory, if proven, could potentially extend the Zodiac's timeline of terror even further into the past, painting an even grimmer picture of his criminal career. The Zodiac's crimes, coupled with his taunting and cryptic letters, have made him a figure of enduring fascination and fear. His ability to evade capture and the mystery surrounding his identity continue to provoke intrigue and speculation, keeping the chilling legacy of the Zodiac alive more than half a century later. The FBI, however, has responded to these claims with skepticism. Despite the compelling evidence put forth by journalist Thomas Colbert and his group Case Breakers, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has not endorsed their conclusions. The Bureau's stance on the matter remains clear: the case is not solved. The FBI continues to view the Zodiac Killer case as an open and unsolved investigation. While they acknowledge the efforts made by independent groups and individuals, they maintain a rigorous standard of proof that has yet to be met. This is not to discredit the work of the Case Breakers but rather to highlight the gravity and complexity of the Zodiac Killer case. The FBI's insistence that the case remains open implies there's more to be uncovered, more evidence to be evaluated, and perhaps more secrets to be revealed. It's a stark reminder of the intricate web of mystery that surrounds the infamous Zodiac Killer. The FBI's response underscores the enduring mystery of the Zodiac Killer and the challenges in definitively solving this case. Despite the recent claims, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains one of the most enduring mysteries in the annals of American crime. Even with the latest revelations from journalist Thomas Colbert and his group Case Breakers, the Zodiac Killer's identity is as elusive as ever. The fascination with this case is fueled by a mix of horror and intrigue, a deadly cocktail that has kept the public captivated for decades. The recent claims have reignited this interest, drawing both skeptics and believers into a renewed examination of the evidence. The partial DNA sample, the connection to the murder of Sherry Jo Bates, and the information from a bureau whistleblower all serve to stoke the flames of fascination. But the FBI's refusal to accept these findings as conclusive only adds another layer of mystery to this already convoluted case. While we may be closer than ever to unmasking the Zodiac, the final chapter of this terrifying tale is yet to be written.